Rich Rod and the West Virginia Mountaineers continue to crush it in the transfer portal, bringing in more Jack State players, bringing in more secondary help, and more importantly, bringing in some more dogs.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I'm your host. This is Locked On West Virginia. Thank you for joining, guys. Excellent day to be a Mountaineer, if you ask me. Evidenced by more commits. The staff has really worked hard to get a bunch of quality pieces in here as they were late to the game, right? We know that, and had a late start, so we knew, like Mike Ostie typed earlier, didn't expect them to kill it December. We just hired a coach right before that. So this is going to be a more of a January/springtime class, and there will be better classes to come, no doubt about it. But look, a lot of visitors at West Virginia right now. We're going to talk about the visitors. We've got a guy from LSU that's visiting West Virginia. We've got a big-time, nasty offensive lineman from Princeton coming to West Virginia to join that I've been talking to all day long. Well, not all day long, but over the past couple of hours. And obviously we've got these pieces right here that we just added, which I'm just going to be honest, guys. One of these I was really not expecting. And by the way, there should be more portal commits to come today unless something changed. I was told two more should have been coming today. So we'll see. Things happen, things change. At the end of the day, like what happened unfortunately with Matthew Henry, sometimes the staff changes their minds on a player, even if they've invited them or offered them. So it's not always a guarantee that if a staff offers a player or invites them to town, doesn't always mean that they're guaranteed spot because somebody better comes along. That's just the nature of the game, right? Or at least in the staff size better, because I think Matthew Henry was a good player. 1,200 yards. I mean, 6 touchdowns, even at the FCS level, is really good. So, look, obviously West Virginia had a lot of defense to replace, right? I mean, you lose Josiah Trotter, you lose Trey Lathan, you lose a lot of guys that have graduated, you lose Aubrey Burks, you lose, obviously so many pieces. I could go on and on and on about it. But you also retain some too, right? And I think it's important to, I say it all the time, if there's 10 math problems on the board and 1 is wrong and 9 are right, what do you focus on? The 1 that are wrong or the 9 that are right? And in this scenario, I think what we have left over plus what we are adding is the 9 that is right. Sure. Can we ever replace a Josiah Trotter Jr.? I don't know, because I think he probably could have ended up being one of the best linebackers in school history by the time it was all said and done, but he was deficient in areas. It wasn't like he was perfect. He was not good in pass coverage. Doesn't matter the scheme or not. He didn't do great in pass coverage last year. Was an excellent, smart defender that was great in the run game, great at fitting the run at times, but certainly we've got a lot to replace, and that began today with West Virginia getting 3 commits in the secondary. You can't beat that. All 3 of these guys are good players. One is an elite player. The other has the chance to be very good to elite. And the other one, I think maybe, I don't know. The jury's out on the other one. So we'll see. But it's a nice range of pieces. I don't know what the staff has in mind for him. But I'll tell you right now, Fred Perry is a bona fide star. And West Virginia knocked it out of the park, landing the Jack State transfer. And look, you can look at any number of metrics you want to look at. But at the end of the day, this is a guy that put up enormous numbers at his time at Jack State, and to me was one of the best available safeties in the portal, if not the best, truly. So Fred Perry has, over his time at Jack State, 257 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 10 passes defended, 6 forced fumbles, 3 sacks, and 2 interceptions in 36 total games. This is a blitzing, run stopping, quarterback sacking, ball stripping, hair on fire, will fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, over anything. Beast of a safety that harkens back Carl Joseph vibes, Robert Sands vibes. This is a guy that can cover. He's really, really quick. He's got great short area of movement, by the way. He's good at changing directions. His hips are really fluid. When he flips from left to right, or whenever he needs to flip and go chase after a ball, he can do it. He also really good at he could have played receiver. He's really good at catching the ball. But, man, what he does best is something that Jeff Castile's defenses were so good at, and that's bringing safeties and corners off the edge. One of the best pass rushers on the team, he will be. Believe that. Whether that's defensive end, whether that's outside linebacker, name it. This guy right here will challenge anybody for a pass rush skill set. Coming off the edge, he plays with his hair on fire. He gets after it. And look, I saw him drive a tight end on an interception return into the dirt. This guy is strong. He's physical, and truly one of the very best pieces we could have hoped to have gotten. The other guy, Fred Davis, that we lost Northwestern today, nothing compared to what Fred Perry can be. He was a freshman All-American. I don't know how they kept him as long as they did, but he's following Rich Rod again. And truly, this guy is as good as it could have gotten for us, and will be a day one bona fide starter and likely all Big 12 performer as long as he doesn't get hurt. That's just how confident I am in his skills. 5'10", 200 pounds, and he looks it on the field. He's very what I would consider put together. Got a nice physique, man. He's really, really stout-looking dude. From Georgia, he earned our freshman All-American honors in 2022, where he recorded 72 tackles and an interception, while this past season he had 110 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. He has ties to the West Virginia coaching staff that he played under, head coach Rodriguez at Jacksonville State, and has experience in this defensive scheme, which is a big, big deal. He's played 1,941 snaps over the course of his career, and this past season graded out at a 65, according to Pro Football Focus, with especially high marks in run defense. The veteran defensive back has 1 season of eligibility remaining in his career. He elected to enter the transfer portal in December 21st, and was immediately linked to West Virginia given the ties. Overall, Perry is the 3rd defensive back to commit to West Virginia this offseason, following South Alabama quarterback Jordan Scruggs. And the next guy we'll be talking about, UT Chattanooga safety Jordan Walker. He's the 4th player to follow Rodriguez from Jack State, joining wide receiver Cam Vaughn, wide receiver Jared Bowie, tight end Jacob Barrick. This is from West Virginia Sports Now and my buddy Keenan Cummings, who wrote this. So thank you to them for that. So look, like I said, this is a big one, man. I'm extremely excited to have these guys, man, here, at West Virginia. I think it's important to, I don't know what I've done here. I've messed up let's see what I can do here. I've moved my windows to a different spot. That's weird, man. Well, I guess I'll just have to do it like this for now and have 2 separate windows, but whatever. Anyway, this is a big pickup though for West Virginia. And moving on, I think it's we'll talk about some other guys that West Virginia has picked up, but since we're so close to the break, let's go to break really quick. On the other end of the break, we'll talk about a bunch of stuff. We still got 2 portal commits to get to, and these very highly rated visitors that you don't want to miss out on either. Stick around, guys. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions that you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? Well, it definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for. Rocket Money made it easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps aid, find, and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills, guys, just so you can grow savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions. I'd like to have 1% of that, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedoncollege today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedoncollege. And we are back here on Locked On West Virginia. It's segment 2. Let's crack a do. So let me get a drink. I don't know if that's ever going to catch on or be anything, but maybe Mountain Dew will come sponsor me one day. I love it. I love it. Professional Carpet Systems of Raleigh. Hot piss. So here's the thing, though. I have to be careful with what I say on here because all this is sent out from Locked On. It goes over the TV. It's sent out to several TV stations. It's sent out to several podcasting areas, like just different things. So I have to be careful with what I say. But trust me, I love the comment, and I have things in the works for that. So as a matter of fact, you should be next weekish when I'll be able to launch some merch stuff that has to do with that. So be ready for that too. Second commitment of the day, which these aren't in order. I don't know which order they came in, to be honest. They all came really quick. This is the University of Tennessee Chattanooga safety Jordan Walker. Man, this dude is almost as impressive, if not as impressive as Fred Perry. Like, watching his tape was a joy to watch, man. I really wasn't sure what to expect because, look, I get it. Like, not everybody's going to be happy because these guys are, some of them are FCS, some of them are Group of 5 players. And so what I look at is, what does he look like? What did my eyes tell me? How fast is he moving? How fluid is he? How easily is he beating guys at the level he's at? This guy right here dominates people at the level he was at UT Chattanooga. He was easily the best player on the field in certain games for them. So, which is why obviously he's so highly sought after and had everybody looking like there was a lot of people that wanted him. So look, here is an article from Keenan Cummings that explains a lot about Jordan Walker, number 28 from UT Chattanooga. I highly suggest, though, if you want to go to Jordan Walker's X profile, check out his highlights, which I wouldn't watch a couple of games just to see, because you can't get everything from highlights, but you can get a lot from highlights. You can see body movement, you can see fluidity, you can see hips, you can see technique, you can see hands, you can see, just different stuff. So I was able to see enough that I liked. Great in run support. I know that for sure. He is another guy like Perry that you could probably blitz off the edge. Definitely really good at I'll tell you something he's really good at. When people throw those bubble passes, the screen passes out to the right or the left, and then you've either got to have guys that can get off blocks and make that tackle, or they're going to get 5 or 6 yards. That's what he excels at. He excels at engaging blockers, ripping off and making tackles, or just outrunning the pursuit angle of the blockers to get to the ball carrier. You're really good at that on film. West Virginia football program has landed a key piece in the secondary as a commitment from UT Chattanooga safety, Jordan Walker. He's almost 6'1", from what I looked at, so he's a big kid, but it says 6 feet, 188 pounds. He selected Mountaineers over a number of offers, Virginia Tech, Memphis, there's a ton. App State, Connecticut, North Texas, Western Kentucky, UAB, UTEP, like Memphis and Virginia Tech, though, were also in there. So obviously he was sought after. The Mountaineers coaching staff extended a scholarship offer on December 20th. We're able to get him on campus for an official visit on January 2nd. I'll be honest, guys. I don't think anybody else was ever in play for him. I spoke to him very early on in the process because I was told by a little birdie that he was a silent commit, and he wouldn't come off the info for me. He was one of the only ones this time that didn't tell me, but he didn't deny it either. So I knew we had a great shot. And I just kind of left him alone after that because I figured, well, if he doesn't want to talk about it. The Alabama native was able to meet with defensive coordinator Zach Alley, who laid out the plan for him to play safety in the West Virginia defensive scheme. I mean, dang. The plan they have for me really fits my skill set, and I can see myself making an impact there. Walker also took an official to Memphis, where Walker spent 5 seasons at the Mocs, where he appeared in 37 games and recorded a total of 447 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 9 passes defended, and 4 picks. He's coming off a season where he recorded 60 tackles, 7 pass breakups, 4 tackles for loss. He has 1 season of eligibility remaining. So this is the data. This is from West Virginia Sports Now and Keenan Cummings, who does a great job of this stuff. Walker brings 2,067 snaps of experience with him to West Virginia over his time at UT Chattanooga. Has played in 749 snaps in each of the past 2 seasons. In 24, Walker played 749 defensive snaps and graded out at a very good 76.7 Pro Football Focus grade, and was graded at least 73.1 in each of the past 3 seasons. That's very consistent and very good. Just so you know, average at Pro Football Focus is right around 65. I think that's what they consider starter level. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what I remember. I know 76 is good. So Walker posted strong defensive coverage grades over his 3 years with a mark of at least 73.7 or above during that time. Over his career, he's been targeted 77 times and permitted just 47 receptions for 517 yards and 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's pretty good over 77 targets. A versatile safety, Walker spent 939 snaps at free safety, 756 in the box, and 348 in the slot. So he's somebody, he's played a ton of snaps everywhere. That's insane. That makes him a defensive piece that the coaching staff can move over around in different spots. Mountaineers are bringing an experienced defensive back with a ton of experience and versatility, which makes him an intriguing fit for a lot of different reasons. West Virginia offered Walker early on and were able to get him on campus in order to get a complete understanding of the plans that the coaching staff has for him, as well as how he could fit in the school. Clearly, he checked all the boxes for him as Walker elected to commit after visiting other places. With 1 year eligibility remaining, he'll step into a safety room that experienced plenty of turnover this offseason with one returning player in Kiki Tarnu, who was what do you know, another Jack State player. It's going to be like Jack State University. The Mountaineers have been looking at a number of experienced options to help bolster the secondary, and Walker brings a ton of experience. So, anyway, yeah, I loved what I saw on his tape as well. I think this is a guy that, man, you look at him, and he's really good on the back end. He does a lot in run coverage, run defense, but he does a lot in pass defense as well. I felt like he, especially on some of those interception plays, he showed a lot of ability to track ball, to catch it when it actually hits his hands. And I think he's a guy that can make some plays in our secondary. We'll see where he ends up in the lineup, but I think he'll be a guy that's going to be fighting for that starting job, if not getting it, which sounds like they really sat down with him and said, hey, man, you're probably going to start or whatever they told him, but certainly he's going to have a chance to. Third commit of the day, and this is somebody that honestly I am I don't think he's a bad player at all. I just know less about him due to there being a little bit less tape on him and all that stuff. He's also a Jack State corner. Keep in mind, by the way, Jack State had a top – I have to go back and look. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on this too, but I know they had a top, 20 defensive coverage scheme in the country this past year. They had one guy that went to Auburn, one guy that went to Louisville. They have another guy. They had obviously 2 or 3 guys from that defense that are coming here. They had so many Power 5 pieces on that defense. This is one of the reasons they were able to go on that run and win the conference championship. So they've got several guys that are Power 5 good on that roster, offense and defense. They just had an offensive lineman that committed somewhere today. I can't even remember where. Fred Davis went to Northwestern. Fred Perry went here. Poiser went to Auburn. Like, they had so many ridiculous pieces to work with that if they were able to keep them, they would have been a playoff contender Like, that's how good they would have been for this upcoming year. But Rich Rod obviously came to West Virginia and is bringing a lot of that with him. So don't get down on these Jack State players, guys. I'm telling you, Rich Rod knows what the hell he's doing. He really does. And Zach Alley was he was the big part in identifying a lot of this talent early on before he went to Oklahoma for a year. So this is getting the band back together. These guys know how to evaluate, guys. I'm telling you, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. This isn't Neil Brown's era anymore. We've moved on to an era that whether we win a bunch of games or not, I don't really have, especially when it comes to the secondary, offensive linemen and running backs, I don't have a big issue with their evaluations at all. And honestly, we've got a bunch of new staff. So, you know, like McNeil and others, like who knows how we're going to evaluate in other spots, but I have no doubts with what they're going to do on defense because it's been shown already. So this is another guy from Jack State. Derek Carter announced his transfer to West Virginia. This is from Mike Oste's West Virginia Sports Now. And let's read what he says here. Derek Carter announced his intent to transfer to West Virginia on Wednesday. Carter is a redshirt senior, played in 35 games at Jacksonville State, nabbing, I don't know what that is. It's if Mike's watching, this is a typo. Nabbing, looks like it says it's either one interception or another thing because it says interceptions, plural. So I don't know, Mike. Somebody tell Mike to maybe fix his article because he may not know it's messed up. But he was named second team All-Conference USA. So to me, that's a guy that's right there on the Power 5 line, right? Following 2023 when he defended 8 passes and made 44 tackles. 5'11", 185 yards. He racked up 89 total tackles across 3 seasons for the Gamecocks, 4 tackles for loss, and has 10 total pass defenses with 1 interception. So it is 1 interception. An Alabama native, Carter is the latest example of a Jacksonville State player to follow head coach Rich Rod to WVU. Brett Perry, obviously announcing earlier on today. So look, here we are again. Another big-time move made by West Virginia, bringing in. And here's another thing. Now you've got it on both sides of the ball. You've got the culture that Rich Rod has been bragging about on both sides, right? And like these guys are going to be able to lead by example and show these guys like how they practice, how they run, how they do different things, how they run the different schemes. This is going to help with continuity and everything. Like it's going to be like having a few little coaches on the field. So like I'm excited about it. I think these are all great ads, and it's not like they brought every single piece over, and not every one of these guys have to start either. Will Jacob Barrick start at tight end? I don't know. You know, we'll see. I know Cam Bond's going to start. I know he's going to start. Everybody wanted him. So let's go to break really quick. Don't have an ad read on this one. Stick around. We'll talk about the visitors that are on campus. These are big too. This is Locked On West Virginia. You don't want to miss this. Stick around. All right, and we are back. So let's see if I do this from without all these things pulled up now. Oh, well, I'll just keep them pulled up. I haven't been able to see the comments as much for this episode, guys. So let me check and see if I missed anything. Has anybody committed or anything while we've been on here? I'm looking around. Guys, let me know in the chat if I missed any commitments or anything since we've been talking or anything like that. But Mountaineer Larry Kenny, appreciate you being in here. Everybody that's in here right now. Okay, so we've got some big-time O-linemen on campus right now and a couple of pieces that I'm excited about. One, I'm not 100% sure what he's going to do, but he's an LSU transfer, Kimo Makaniole, Makaneole. So I'd probably just call him Kimo, kind of like Kimo von Oelhoffen that used to play for the Steelers, Kimo. So this is an LSU transfer that played offensive line for the Tigers and then moved to defensive line this past year. The big question that I don't think anybody knows for certain, but I'm being told He's going to stick defensive line. West Virginia's looking for big nose tackles and whatnot. So this could be a guy that stays on the defensive side of the ball, but certainly could play offensive line again. Maybe they feel like that he's good enough to play offensive line here, or there's something in his game that they like. But as far as I know, this is a guy that's going to play on the defensive side of the ball. He's played quite a bit at LSU over his time on both sides, just different places. So I think this is a guy, man, look, this is LSU. This is one of the 7 or 8 largest brands in college football that puts out stud after stud after stud, and he was able to make that roster and stick around for years. So I think, it would be a great piece for us to add here at West Virginia in the Big 12. And this is a guy that could definitely crack the rotation on offense or defense, probably. But I would imagine he's going to stay on defense from what I'm being told here, because obviously LSU changed him over there for a reason. Well, it would probably be harmful to get the kid to move him back again. No consistency. He's probably all focused on defense now. Or maybe he transferred because he felt like he's a lineman. These are questions that ultimately I don't have the answer to. But when I reached out, I was told defensive line. So we'll see what happens. But he is certainly a piece that I think will be really interesting to get. So keep an eye on him. The Louisville transfer, Monroe Mills, is another one to keep an eye on. He'll be the number 1 offensive lineman in the portal. I spoke with him earlier today, and obviously it would be a huge get for us. And things are being worked out there. We'll see if he can make a visit to West Virginia, but he's going to have everybody after him, Alabama, and you name it. So Ohio State, I'm sure everybody wants him, but West Virginia is in his crosshairs. Also, this is the one that excites me the most I'll be honest, after watching this kid's tape, I don't know how much more excited I could get for a player than William Reed. Offensive tackle from Princeton. The Princeton, the Ivy League. He is so nasty. Reminds me a lot of Zach Frazier. He absolutely dump trucks people. Go watch his tape. People do not stay standing when he gets in contact with them. And in my opinion, would be a day 1 starter for West Virginia on the offensive line. He absolutely has a hard edge. And when he makes contact, he's the right tackle at Princeton. I don't know what he would play at West Virginia, but he is a powerhouse, man. His hand violence is very similar to Zach Frazier's. You know how Zach Frazier would just move people or knock people off of the balance and do that kind of thing? That's what this guy's really good at. William Reed out of Princeton. Go check him out. On X, if you go look at his profile, which is, let me read his handle off here. Let's see. It is at Will Reed 44. At Will Reed 44. So certainly one to be excited about. And he says, forever grateful for my coaches and teammates I've had in my time at Princeton. These are my 2024 season highlights, and he will be at West Virginia on Friday, by the way. He tells me. So I don't know if that's been made public yet. I know West Virginia's reached out. I know that went out there, but he told me just today that he will be visiting on Friday after Georgia Tech. He's in Atlanta right now. So hopefully, like I told him, hopefully they don't lock you up because I want you. I don't know. I don't mean to sound a little weird here, but I want you in Morgantown. Not that I want you. We want you in Morgantown. So, no, but in all seriousness, man, he is my favorite player, man. I love offensive linemen, as you guys know, and this is going to be one of those ones I get attached to, much like Xavier Bosley was for me. And I just feel like this guy is a stud in the making. And listen, you'll fall in love with this tape too if you just go watch it. Watch the tape. Like I always say, watch the tape. Other than that, guys, not a whole lot else to talk about. There could be more commits coming. I thought there would be today. Certainly they could have asked them to put that off because there's so many in one day. I know Rich Rod wants all these guys to have their flowers and moment in the sun and all that. So Maybe that's going on, but I was expecting more commits today outside of the ones that have happened. I had a guy tell me yesterday, look, me and so-and-so are probably going to commit tomorrow. So unless the staff changed their mind or they did, I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. That's just me being transparent and honest with you guys. So if you see two guys go commit here in a little bit, you'll know, well, who, it was from me. But yeah, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. I did message him and he hasn't responded. So that could be either bad, it could be good. I don't know. We'll see. Also, I'm here. I see people talking about Robbie Martin. I'll be honest, I haven't heard a lot about it, but I haven't looked into it. Let me do some more on that. I actually know somebody that knows Robbie really, really well. I'm from the area, and I can find out easily what's going on with the situation. I see you down there, Eric, saying he should be here tomorrow or yesterday or today. We'll see. I'll do some more digging on that and update you guys as well. We got 600 people in here right now. If you could do me a favor before you leave, hit that like button. Drop a follow on my X account. If you're watching from X, please hit that follow button. And also subscribe to Mountaineer or to Hoop. Gosh, I went back in time. Subscribe to Locked On West Virginia, not Mountaineer Paul Hawks football anymore, if you can. And hit those notifications so you always find me when I go live. Other than that, not a lot else to talk about. Keep coming back. I'll be updating you guys every single day, 7 days a week here, as we get more commitments daily. So I don't rest yet. There more is coming. So that's always good to hear and good to know. And they ain't done, man. We're going to be having more big-time players come in as the days go on. And hopefully these two guys that are on campus today end up committing. Those would be two huge big commits as well. So I'm excited. You should be excited. Follow me on all social medias that you can, and then I'll be here for you guys tomorrow as well, maybe even today if another big one happens. Until then, thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. And for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. If you could do me a favor and find Drake Toll, Locked On Big 12, guys. He does an excellent job over there. 1 million in a month is amazing. 1 million views. We're on his tail. We almost did 500,000 in a month in December. Not bad for just West Virginia. He gets all the teams. We just get West Virginia, which is why we're amongst the Twitter elite. As somebody asked Grok today, who are the best fan bases? West Virginia, Ohio State, USC, Penn State, and one other one was on the list. So we're pretty damn good. I'll see you guys later. Have a great night. Let's go Mountaineers.